Hello guys, and today we will discuss a lot of really beautiful things that Ukrainian drones can do on the way to defeat and demilitarize Russia and thus bring lasting peace to Europe and the world. And just a day ago, they targeted a radar on a gas platform in the Black Sea because there is no place for Russian crap in the Black Sea. It was a combined marine and aerial drones attack, very successful. But what I was very happy to learn, since recently we have special drones interceptors that are capable to destroy Russian Shahed drones while still in the air. They are effective. During the recent months, they managed to neutralize more than 100 of Russian drones, and they are super inexpensive in comparison to, for example, air defense missiles that can cost $1 million. Such drone can cost $5,000, and most importantly, they can operate not once but perform multiple successful interception operations. Actually, we already have one that managed to destroy 20 Russian Shahed drones in less than a month. So let me introduce you to all this really good news from an ordinary Ukrainian perspective. My name is Anna, I'm from Ukraine, I'm in Ukraine, and if you want to see the collapse of the Kremlin, which is definitely on the way, subscribe. We will discuss that on the channel really soon. So let's start with this beautiful incident, as Russians will say, in the Black Sea. We have gas platforms in the Black Sea. There are lots of battles for these platforms, and during this recent full-scale wars, part of them may belong to Ukraine, then Russians take them back, then Ukrainians take them back. It's really difficult to control them because it's in the open sea. And it was built for the development of gas and oil in the shores. But right now they are used by the military, and the Ukrainian drones managed to destroy a radar that Russians needed to protect the leftovers of the Black Sea fleet and to cover up some operations that they might have planned. It was a beautiful combined attack of a drone in the air, which first targeted the platform, and then a marine drone that finished the job. Actually, it's really beautiful that in the coordination of drones, we can achieve way stronger results, and it is totally impossible for the Russian air defense to protect any of their objects from such combined attacks. Just visualize that it is happening in the 21st century because of the creativity and resilience of the Ukrainian soldiers and Ukrainian developers. First, an aerial drone targets that radar, and then the marine drone finishes the job. I'm sure you remember that recently we have set another important historical record when Ukrainian marine drone destroyed 2 Russian bombers, 2 Russian Sus during just one day. Directly from the waters, it destroyed aircrafts in the air, not on the air base, but in the air. And previously, marine drones also destroyed 2 Russian helicopters, Mi-8. So it feels like marine drones like double targets. Anyway, this is a breakthrough, and this is one of the reasons why not only Ukraine needs NATO, but NATO also needs Ukraine, because this kind of skills are extremely important in the world where China, for example, invests so much in drones, so much in warfare, and also learns a lot from the North Korean soldiers' experience. An important fact, with the help of these marine drones, we have destroyed dozens of Russian warships, cleared the Black Sea, made Russians escape back to Russia. Now the headquarters of the Black Sea is not in Sevastopol as it was before. It was destroyed in Sevastopol together with the admiral in it. And now it is in Novorossiysk, but even there, we keep demilitarizing their warships that are now scrap metal. By the way, it was very symbolic. I'm sure all of you remember that phrase that Ukrainian soldiers answered to Russian invaders at the very beginning of this war, and somehow it became very, very influential and seriously influenced the Black Sea fleet that was upgraded to these submarines, scrap metal submarines on the bottom of the Black Sea. Please share these videos to share the truth about war in Ukraine, and like if you like what I'm saying, that's important. And of course, subscribe if you're new. And I'm super happy to introduce you to another development that is also one of a kind. And these are Ukrainian drones interceptors. You know that Ukraine is the country that defends itself, and please never equate two sides, two parties. Even the White House, since recently, loves using this phrase, but it is totally wrong, incorrect, and not just offensive, it is historically wrong. So, Ukraine is a country that defends itself, and our defense technologies are getting better and better. You know that during this months of the so-called negotiations, preparations to the ceasefire, Russia on contrary attacks Ukraine way more than it was before the Trump's term. And we have to invent new ways how to protect our people, especially when Trump does not want to sell Patriot missiles and so on and so forth. So since recently, Ukrainian forces use drones interceptors. They are capable to intercept, to destroy, to attack Russian Shahed drones while still in the air. And that is amazing. I have already seen and shared the video on X how these drones work, and you can literally see Russian camera of the drone like exploding after a beautiful angry bird from Ukraine targets it. So, for example, since very recently when they are started to be used, they like work systematically, which is important. It's not a rare case, it's not something totally unusual, but these drones interceptors already work systematically and stopped more than 100 of evil Russian drones that wanted to bring death and destruction to my country. And nothing like that was ever used in the world, just imagine. And there are different kinds of such drones, but what is good, they can target and destroy very expensive, complex Russian long-range drones that can carry a lot of explosive, and it is super cheap in comparison to, for example, to air defense missiles. One air defense missile can cost $1 million. And you cannot get that many you need because in Ukraine we have problems with supplies. In Russia they don't have. China, North Korea, Iran, they don't have, this talks, escalation management. They simply provide Putin's regime with all that it needs. But for us in Ukraine, we are very grateful for everything that we get, but it's incomparably less than Russia gets from China, for example. So whenever we develop new ways to interrupt and prevent Russian attacks, this is super good. So when a drone that costs, for example, $5,000 of this type can stop an expensive long-range drone, we don't need to use an expensive air defense missile. That is definitely super important. And for example, I have put down here in this recent days, with the help of drone interceptors, we managed to stop 40 Shahed drones. That is just the beginning. I'm sure, like Russians promise to send hundreds, and I'm sure we will be able to stop hundreds. One of the most important facts that everyone has to understand: Ukraine will not surrender, and Russia cannot win this war, no matter how hard they try to persuade people and manipulate cowards like, I am sorry, Donald Trump and J.D. Vance, who now don't know how to leave the negotiations process, and it looks very pathetic and not serious at all. So, for example, there is already one drone in this modern Ukrainian history that managed to stop 20 Shahed drones during these days. So it means that it is like reusable. It's not the drone that dies together with that long-range drone, but it can somehow continue operating and doing the job. And I have learned there are different types of drones interceptors, starting from the ones that can develop the speed of up to 200 kilometers per hour and operate at the altitude of 5 kilometers. But there are ones that can travel even faster, like 280 kilometers, 300 kilometers per hour. Their radius is really big, like 20, 30 kilometers. They have names like Titan and Sting, and that's beautiful. And what you may love, you operate with this gamer panel. So by the way, drone troops are super popular in Ukraine, and somehow Russian propaganda made many people believe that in Ukraine no one wants to serve in the army. Do not forget, first of all, about that tremendous bravery of Ukrainian people that stopped Russian invasion, because hundreds and thousands of Ukrainians joined territorial defense and continue to serve in army, even though they are teachers, doctors, baristas, lawyers. They were never in the army, they were never military. And right now, Ukrainian army is reforming and adapting to the needs and interests of people. And you can actually join the army, and they will take into account your background, your interests. And many young guys especially, they love joining drone units because they are super efficient and at the same time innovative. And they also need this computer gamer experience, because they literally use those joysticks to target and burn evil objects that are so bad, and actually save lots of innocent lives and keep defeating and demilitarizing Russia, which is the only way to achieve lasting peace. I want to congratulate our friends in the community from Romania. I was so worried and I was quite pessimistic, and it's so happy to see you protected your European choice, you protected your NATO choice, and you protected us too, because Russia's plan right now is to surround Ukraine also with those Russia lovers. But it's like bad for Ukraine, and it's bad for any country that is influenced by the Kremlin. So I'm very happy. Greetings to Romania. You are really cool. And also I have to react. I lost my mom to cancer, and that is very ugly to read comments of Trump's son and some people in the American government. Even if you don't like Joe Biden or his politics, you have to respect the person, and you have to realize that together with Joe Biden, there are lots of people who fight against this disease, and it's very wrong. And like God sees everything. I do believe that there are some bad things you cannot do because it's too bad. Like there are some minor things. We are not perfect. We can offend others. We can be too competitive or something. But there are some sacred things like life, death, children, health. I don't know. Something that is very dear and very precious and very scary to people. And you cannot manipulate that. You cannot degrade that. You cannot mock that, because that is too bad for a human being. So my thoughts and prayers to all people who want and will recover. Remain strong, and know there are lots of us who care and think about you. Join me on Instagram. I'm sharing more of my everyday life there, on X, on Threads, on Blue Sky, and we have an amazing Discord community. I am always happy when you subscribe to my new channel, Anna Danilchuk, with weekly updates about what is life in times of the big war. Also, check our merch shop. The link is in the description to see more products that work well as reminders and conversation starters about Ukraine. Thank you for buying me coffees, becoming my patrons and sponsors of the channel. But most importantly, thank you for standing with Ukraine. Slava Ukraini!